Hey guys, happy Thursday. Welcome to the next edition of Carrots and Cake Instagram Live. And start off by apologizing for the wet hair. It's actually the hairdo before the hairdo. I'm going to a fundraising event tonight in Scituate, and I'm going with my photographer friend Lucy. You probably know her from the blog world and Instagram and all that, but she invited me, so I'm going with her, and there's a Nautilus theme, so I gotta figure that out. But this is how I do my hair on a day that I actually am gonna like go out and do my hair, but I let it, spritz all my stuff in, my products. If you saw my video, I gave like a quick how to, but the video's on Carrots and Cake. I posted it on Monday. But yeah, spritz my hair and let it air dry, and then I'll curl it real nice and then do my little finishing spray. So this is in the air dry phase, so that's why it looks the way it does. I'm just gonna let it air dry and fix it in a few hours when I'm ready to go out. But got a bunch of great questions for you guys today. Thank you for sending them, and feel free to send them whenever throughout the week. I have a little list of them and keep track of what you guys ask and everything. So whenever you think of something, send it my way. So this week we are going to talk about how to guesstimate macros, like when you're making a salad. That was the specific question, how I had a salad yesterday at Whole Foods, and somebody sent me a message and said, how do you put this in MyFitnessPal? So I'll tell you a few ways to do it. Second question is about food sensitivities test. The third question is, how did Mal and I know we wanted kids? And the last one is, how often do we grocery shop? So I'm going to cover all those. Just figured I'd put it up front so you can fast forward or whatever if you don't want to listen to me just ramble on about stuff. So the first question, how to enter a salad bar salad into MyFitnessPal or another tracking app. And honestly, there's a few ways to do it. And I'm not super scientific with it. I just kind of guesstimate. So the first way is to just search MyFitnessPal and just say, hey, is there a whole food salad already built in there? And there was, so that's what I ended up using. And then I just clicked on it and just saw how many grams of protein, how many carbs, and how much fat, and just kind of made my salad based on that. I think it had like 30 grams of protein, so it's like 4-ish ounces of meat, and then I figured with like the veggies and the cheese it would be pretty close to 30 grams. And then same thing with the carbs. I think it was like 40 carbs or something, so just put a bunch of sweet potatoes, a bunch of veggies, all the good stuff, and just called it a day. I mean, like close enough. The other way you could do it is make the salad and then just pick 4 of the main food groups in there and then enter that in. So say you make this big salad, you bring it back, you have 2 or 3 cups of greens, enter that. It's like no calories, but you could enter it in. You had some chicken breast and some salmon and tofu or whatever it is, enter that as protein. And then, if you got some cheese or you added a dressing or something like that, and enter that as a fat. And you just guesstimate. You don't have to do the exact amount. And I mean, I don't think you need to go through all, 10, 15, 20 things that you have in your salad. But I mean, just pick the major food groups and just enter those. Get close enough. And then the last way, the last way to enter it real quick is to think about a salad that you made at home, and you could copy it over to the day that you're having a salad bar salad. I mean, I'm assuming if you're making a salad at home, it's kind of similar to the one at Whole Foods. I mean, personally at Whole Foods, I'd probably add a little more than I would at home just because there's so many fun things, but you could account for that. So those are a few easy ways to do it. I mean, I think, counting macros is great, and, there's some people that think, the closer you are to the numbers, better results you have, but at the same time, it's life. You don't want to be sitting there at your phone, entering all this stuff when you just want to eat your salad. So, guesstimate, get as close as possible, move on to the next meal. Boom. Okay. That's question 1. Question 2 is about food sensitivity tests. And I have a blog post coming tomorrow. I had done the Everly Well test. They have a food sensitivity test. So I talk all about that. I've also done the LEAP MRT test. And then back in the day, I think I did the All Cat one, like a million years ago. I was really sick, so I don't really know how those results. I've compared them all, and there are a few consistencies, and then there's a ton of inconsistencies. And then just talking to my registered dietitian friends, there's just not a gold standard when it comes to food sensitivities tests, but I do think they're helpful in the fact that they could identify some things that could be causing you issues, but really it's all about an elimination diet and doing body experiments on yourself. So check out the post tomorrow. I go into a little bit more detail and, thoughts on the test and recommendations and all that stuff. So check out the post tomorrow. And then, how did you know you wanted kids? So that's a great question. And there's a blog post on Carrots Cake about that. It's from a few years ago. It might have been when Quinn was like a year, I think I wrote it. But I can tell you some of the stories that were in that blog post. But when Mal and I got married, we weren't really sure if we wanted kids. It was, we thought we wanted kids, but we weren't 100%. Neither of us were kid people, growing up. Like, we didn't babysit, we weren't super into kids. So got married, we were married, almost 6 years, before we had Quinn. So there was a good long time of conversations and were we going to have kids? Weren't we going to have kids? We were just very undecided. And then I got really sick. I have ulcerative colitis, if you don't know. Had good 4 or 5 years of flares. I was super sick. And then my sister got pregnant. So I grew up with, my sister and my 2 cousins, and the 4 of us were all very similar in age, and it was just part of my childhood. We were all super good friends, and I couldn't imagine having a kid and that kid not growing up with his or her cousins. So once my sister was pregnant, I was like, you know what, I want to have kids, around the same age as her kids. So, she had my nephew Matthew, and at that point, she was pregnant with Matthew, and at that point Mel and I started talking a little bit more seriously about kids, and that was definitely a factor, and then me being sick, and it was one of those like, maybe we should try, let's just see what happens. Like, I was super sick. I really didn't think it was gonna happen fast, and maybe it wouldn't even happen, because at that point, like, my body, I didn't think it was ready for a baby. I was very, very sick. But yeah, got pregnant, it all worked out and everything. There were a few other little things that happened, just, spending time with friends who had, big families, having other friends who were struggling, getting pregnant. And it was just kind of one of those like, all right, let's try and see what happens. If it was meant to be, great. If it wasn't, maybe we won't have kids. And then, yeah, the rest is history. But I'll link that blog post if you want to read. If you want to read it, it's, a little more detail, a little bit more about those stories. But really, it was just being super sick, and then my sister getting pregnant. And now Quinn is sandwiched between, his 2 cousins on my, my side of the family, and then on Mal's side, he's got 3 more cousins, and they're all like within a few years. So it worked out great. He's got all these cousins now. And the last The last question is, how often do we grocery shop? And so I would say once a week, and that's what I show on Instagram a lot, just our grocery haul from Trader Joe's or Whole Foods or something like that. We do shop online. We use Thrive Market, we use Butcher Box, and we were using Boxed a lot more. Boxed is kind of like the Costco of, the internet world, but not as much anymore. Like, we were using it for like diapers and wipes and things like that. We'll still order sometimes because they have pretty good deals on like seltzer and cleaning products and things like that. But we do like a lot of like online shopping. So, our pantry and freezers are sometimes filled with that. So I want to say once a week, but then we have all this stuff coming to our house. And we do a lot of that online shopping, mostly for convenience, but also because some of the prices are better and the quality is better. So like the meat and the fish and like all that good stuff. Definitely better quality, better price. And like the bulk stuff is really great. And then we usually do that big shopping on like Saturday or Sunday. And then maybe during the week, I'll stop into Trader Joe's or Whole Foods and like grab like a couple things, but I really try not to do that because I just feel like what we have in the house we can eat, you know what I mean? And I hate to waste food, so I really try not to shop any more than that one big shopping, but it happens. So that's it for questions for this week. That was actually a lot shorter than I thought it would be, but thank you for tuning in. And if you have questions, send them along, and happy Thursday, everyone.